Hi, Evin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. Do you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's begin. Um, Evan, I'm Ezelle from the upcoming. It's really wonderful to speak to you today, and I think you'd be hard pushed to find anyone that hasn't heard about the new series that you're starring in. So, could you tell us a little bit about it? What can viewers expect when they watch Who's Erin Carter?
Well, so people have to watch the show to get to know who Erin Carter is. But it's a show about a woman who lives in Barcelona. She lives there with her daughter. She's a teacher, and one day her and her daughter is at a supermarket, and then there's a robbery going on, and she needs to protect her daughter. And one of the robbers kind of recognize her. Well, he does recognize her, and that is sort of the beginning of a whole mystery of a lot of secrets that are coming up to the surface. So what I can say basically is that who Erin Carter is, she's not really who she says she is. Someone else.
And can you tell us a little bit about what drew you to the role, and a little bit about your character that you play? Then,
I think she's a very like she's a woman with a lot of with a different sides of her. So we have the teacher side, we have the wife side, we have the mother side. And also there's like a really badass side as well to her that we kind of we're feeling it, but we don't really know where that's coming from and why is she so good at fighting, why can she handle guns. This is something that no one, neither her neighbors or her kids in the school or her daughter or her husband knows about. So she's a woman with a lot of secrets, but also I would say she's a very lonely woman. She doesn't have that many people to rely on. She does have a daughter. She does have her husband, which she wants to protect with everything she has. Now that some things and someone and some people are coming from her past now to haunt her kind of. So but she's also fun. She's sweet, but she's also very impulsive, I would say. So yeah, a lot of different sides, I would say.
and obviously this is your first English speaking role. It's actually quite weird hearing your natural accent after sort of binge watching
I
it
know,
all.
I know.
I'm like, this is weird. I mean, my God, you're like amazing at it. So I mean, how was that for you to kind of keep that up for the whole series as a lead, and how take on that?
I mean, to be completely honest, it was so daunting to me because when they told me you have to do it in a British accent, I was like, what? I was like, yeah, you have to do it in a British accent. And I'm like, the British accent I know is like it's from watching The Crown or Game of Thrones or whatever. Like that's see, the thing is I'm Swedish. I was born and raised in Sweden, and we don't dub anything. So we watch everything in English. So naturally, because there's a lot of American shows out there. So naturally my accent would be kind of leaning towards the American accent. But I was so fortunate to look with I was so lucky to work with my dialect coach. So she was on board the minute I got the role, and I just had 3 weeks to prepare. So she was with me every morning, every night in my car. So she was constantly there reminding me of the accent and just yeah, she was my lifeguard basically. But it was daunting, I do have to say, but also quite fun.
Taking on a completely different role with completely different
Mm.
accent. I mean, I think you did an amazing job. So, um, and so obviously, there's a lot of action scenes in this, running all the way through it. And I mean, my God, what was that like to film those? And were there any kind of standout action moments for you through the series?
It was so fun. I do have to say it was amazing. We had Paul, who was the stunt coordinator, and he was amazing. It was always important for me to make the fights feel kind of real. So when Erin gets hurt or hit, that we would actually feel that. It's not like she's some sort of superwoman. So that was very important to make the stunt scene quite authentic. But it was tough It was like I've never done anything like it. I've normally done just like normal drama shows here in Sweden. So this was quite new. But I do like to, I did some karate when I was younger and some Thai boxing, and it was fun, difficult but fun because I was working with great people basically.
And did you go to a shooting
Also, it's
range?
fun. So also it's fun like to learn a choreography and be in the flow of that choreography. You feel like you really feel like a badass. You feel I can't explain it. It's another level of acting that I've never done before, but it feels the adrenaline is pumping like mad. So it's actually quite fun.
And did you get to go to a shooting range and sort of practice your gun skills?
Did I? Yeah, I did. I actually went to London, and there was another Paul who handles the gun, and he taught me some. But I've done in my in some of the roles that I've done before, I've handled a gun, so I knew how to handle a gun. Let's say that.
To handle yourself. And obviously, the
Yeah.
location. I believe, I know, I think we start in England and then we end up obviously in Barcelona. Is that where the filming was? And what was that like for you to be on location in Spain?
Oh my God. Have you ever been to Barcelona?
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Barcelona is, yeah, it's such an amazing city because you have literally everything. You have, if you want to go shopping, you can go shopping. If you want to just like grab a coffee, sit, hang around town, you can do that. If you want beach, you have that. So it's a very mixed sort of city where you have everything. And the food is great if you like tapas. Maybe not everyone likes tapas, but I do. And also we were shooting outside of Barcelona, like in small cities like Sitges, which was beautiful. It's just it's about 50 minutes away from Barcelona. But I do have to say, when it was warm, when the heat was going on, that was like the all the sweat was and imagine doing the stunt choreographies when it's like I don't know how many degrees, 32 Celsius or 34 sometimes. So that can get pretty hot.
Oh God, I can imagine. And can you tell us a little bit about what it was like then working and building that relationship with your on-screen daughter Harper, played by Indica Watson? I mean, she really does precocious quite well, doesn't she?
Yes, she's an amazing actress. I always say that she's probably gonna win BAFTAs, Emmys, Oscars. She's such a talent. And the interesting part of the whole thing is that I never met her. We never had a chemistry reading, actually. So I was cast and then she was cast, and everyone just had to kind of hope for the best. But when I met her, I was like, okay, this is not going to be an issue. She's amazing. She almost feels like a little sister to me because she's quite tall. I mean, she's even taller than me. So she's so cute, so talented, very professional. And imagine being at that age, being away from your family, your friends. Her dad was with us, but to be away from your friends for 7 months, that's quite tough. But it just shows how dedicated she is to the work and the craft, which is amazing. She's terrific, actually.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. And obviously, what was it then for you, like playing these kind of dual elements of Erin? You've got the facade of kind of this teacher and suburban mother, and then you've got this whole other side of her. So, what was that like for you?
Well, when because we were shooting in blocks, and the first episode is we don't get into the fights and the badass sort of sequences until late in that episode. So my first week of shooting was just being a teacher and having flowery dresses and like just living this kind of wife life and mother life. And at the beginning I felt like, oh, okay, I think they've cast the wrong woman for this part because I just didn't really, I've never seen myself being this type of character. But as the fight scenes were going on and everything was getting more dirty and dusty, I was like, ah, okay, it's the contrast. And I think I liked that. It was the same thing with my other role that I did for Netflix called Snabba Cash, which I also play a mother there. And she also lives like sort of a kind of a double life. And I like it. It's just, I mean, it's an amazing role and what do you call it? Like it's such a great lesson to do as an actress to be able to play all those. It's like different roles within the roles, basically.
Obviously you work alongside, aside from your Harper, you work with such a brilliant ensemble cast. You've got Peppers, Emilio. I mean, what's that like to work with? Because obviously it's a really intense role for you, both physically, mentally. So did you feel the support and teamwork within all that cast? Because it's quite a long time as well, 7 months to be on location with them.
You know what? I was just so happy because I came from a show where there were mostly men. The whole ensemble were, it was like, I would say 70% men and 30% women. But this show was different. It was a lot of female, strong, interesting characters. And I was just, you know, I could just sense that, oh, I actually missed this, not knowing that I missed it, because when women are in shows, it feels like we're always kind of separated. It's so rare that we all work together. And I was able to work with beautiful, talented actresses like Susanna, Denise, Indica, Charlotte, Anna. There's so many great female characters in this show, and it just felt amazing. And Pep is like, he's like my brother. He's like my Spanish brother. He's so crazy and so vulgar and so bad. Like I can't even tell you guys. He's like I will always love him. I love that guy.
Were there any very special moments on set for you that you'll take away from this and sort of think, God, that was just so funny that day that we did this? Or
Yes, so there's one scene which actually ended up in the show, and I didn't think they were going to use it. It was one of those days where it was really, really hot. Like we're talking about 36 Celsius or something like that. And we're inside this bar and we can't have the air condition, right? Because of the sound. And so they dimmed it down. So they blocked all the windows. So there was literally no air in the building. And we had to do a scene. And you can just see me and Pep were just like, the sweat is just dripping down. Like it was crazy. Pep's shirt was all wet. Like, you know, when you get sweaty on your mustache or like your upper lip, that was how it was. And I was like, there's no way you guys are going to put this in the show. But they ended up doing it. I don't know if they CGI it or whatever they did, but it was hilarious. It was crazy. It was so hot.
makes it feel authentic though, doesn't it? When people are watching it. So obviously for you, I mean, you've had huge success, you know, with your lead role in the Stabber Cash, and then this, and you can kind of see a little bit of a theme that you're heading, you know, there are some similarities. But what would be next for you? What would you like to sort of take on next?
You know what? I feel I want to. So I was working at the theater before all of this happened. When Corona started, when COVID hit the whole world, I was working at the Royal Company here in Stockholm. So I was working as a theater actress, and I really love the theater. It's just something beautiful about it. Imagine how old of an art form it is, and there's nothing like it. Just being on stage, meeting the people, meeting the audience, and everything is happening right there, right then, you know? So I think I would like to go back to the theater. And also I'm actually looking forward to do some films, like future films, because I feel the format of TV and TV shows, the process is so fast and quick. And I would like things to kind of slow down. I think that's what I need right now. And the theme of it doesn't really matter, but I feel I want to just like ground myself and, you know, just to be the artistic me again.
Oh. And final question, what do you hope the viewers are going to take away from watching this? I mean, it's got some brilliant themes running through it. So what do you hope they'll take when they watch this?
You know, mostly I think I think there's no such thing as a series for women or men. I hope that all the genders can watch this show, but I know that sometimes like when it's a female lead, people might think like, oh, this is a show for women. That's, you know, that's have that could happen. But for me, I'm just so happy to give all those women out there. Like imagine a teacher being like in a school. And now she can fantasize that she can be Erin Carter and be this badass girl. And then we have the wife, and then we have the mother. That's what I like about the show, that she's so human. And it's not like, often when we see female action characters, they're always in a, or mostly in a sci-fi context, but or superhero context. But Erin is just a normal woman. And I just hope that they feel like, oh, I can do that. Or it's so fun. Like, I've seen some videos of people on TikTok and trying to be Erin. It's just so fun. Like, women trying to handle guns and hitting things. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Like, that's me.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Oh, brilliant. Listen, thank you so much for speaking to me. It's a brilliant series. I hope everyone enjoys it as much as I did. And congratulations. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much, Elise. Take care and have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.